just allow me to present my screen, and then we'll directly begin it. So the way that I've planned the sessions for us is I was going through what CSAT is, and how the paper is, they set the paper and everything. So basis all of that, the first thing that I want to run the course is, one, we'll do the concepts in class basically, right? And I'll give you daily sheets, which would roughly be 2 sheets per chapter. And the level that we'll be doing is we'll be starting it very gradually from the basic level, and we'll touch somewhere close to SSC levels. Okay, so that is the idea when I've made this course. And secondly, the scope is we'll do quants as well as reasoning. And the idea would be to complete all of this in 30 to 35 days. If need be, we might stretch to 40, but I think 30-35 is a fairly decent amount of time to do it. Okay, with me everybody till now? Yeah, all right, perfect. All right. So next, I was again going through some of the previous breakups of the trend that the paper has been set in. So before actually diving it into the paper, it is really necessary that we get to know and analyze what paper actually comes in. So like I was seeing this, just a second, yeah. So see, there are 5 sections over the period of time in which questions were coming in, and if you see over the last few years, here it's all zero, here it's almost zero. Data interpretation is somewhere or the other parts of quants itself. So if you are comfortable with quants, you will be comfortable with data interpretation. So I'll just club it there. So these two things you really don't need to think about. All right. So we are left with quants, reasoning, and English. So over the years, if I see the trend, 2020 being a little of the aberration, what I can say is roughly we can expect close to 30-32 questions here, and almost somewhere close to 21 to 23 questions here. I mean, both of this combined should give us 50 to 55 questions out of 80. So if I put up the scope, so it is close to 50 to 55 questions out of 80. Now given the marking scheme and everything, there are 80 questions, right? 2.5 marks each. We have to score 66. See, the first thing that we need to be really clear about is we do not need to solve each and every question, right? Guys, just saying, I am on another screen. So if you have any questions, I would really, it will be really helpful if you guys speak up, because I'm not constantly reading the messages. Short, like right now, just see what would be the duration of each class. See, the roughly duration of each class would be 1 to 1.5 hour. 1 hour, 15 minutes, as in when we complete the chapter. Our target is to complete one chapter every day, at least for the smaller ones that come in. Okay, so continuing back to where I was, there are 80 questions, 2.5 marks each, and we have to score 66 marks. I'm not saying that just stop at 66. What I'm saying is, for you to clear this thing, you need to do 27 questions correctly, with assuming there is no wrong thing that you've done, right? And the entire amount of time, I'll say, just focus on 30 to 35 questions instead of targeting all 80. Figure out your strengths over the period of time, and then concentrate on doing these many things in the given allotted time. And trust me, CSAT could be one of the easiest papers if you look from this point of view. All the other aptitude, reasoning, and English papers can be difficult because you have to do a lot many questions so that you can score good. But the main important part is this is just qualifying exam, and you really need to fix your strategies accordingly. So this is something I would really want you guys to emphasize upon. And for rest, entire all the 3 subjects, figure out your strengths and work on that. Alright, so if I directly jump to quants, I was seeing the papers over the last few years, and the maximum amount of questions come from arithmetic, right? In arithmetic, primarily I was seeing average, percentage, and the rest, profit and loss, a little bit of time and speed, these kinds of things. But these two, three things are the ones which also comprises your data interpretation. If you're good in average, if you're good in percentage, if you're, good in profit loss, all the money stuff, you can easily crack data interpretation as well. So before diving into data interpretation, I would say that these are the parts where we really need to work upon. Everybody with me till now? I'm reading the messages as well. Yeah, alright, perfect. Awesome. So today what we'll do, I'll directly pick up average, because this is where a lot of questions come in. It is a very easy topic, and we have been doing, it from the very first time we were in school, right? I think average is among the chapters which we have studied from very junior classes. So first, I'll just give you two, three things. 3, 4 slides would just be the concepts about what all we'll do in average, and then we'll dive into questions. So see, what does average actually do? It just helps us to understand the central point in any set of data. That is it. There is no other requirement of average. So in statistics, you would have heard of mean as well, right? So average and mean are same. For any data, it gives us the middle point. That's it. So it just says that the technical term for average is arithmetic mean as well. And if you remember the formula, that we were given earlier, we were said that average is sum of all observation divided by total number of observations. If it's something about S upon N is how usually books refer it to, where S is sum of all the numbers and N is the numbers, like how many are there. But the important part is the next points that I've put in, and we'll be doing each and every question based on these points. So the important characteristic of the average is the average always lies above the lowest number and below the highest number. For example, if I take numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, by looking at it, I can say that average is 3. Correct? But the important point that I'm trying to bring out is the lowest number is 1 and the average is above it. And the highest number is 5 and the average is below it. So it will always be the case. Why? Because it is the mean. It is a central point. So it will always be above the lowest number and below the highest number. The second important point is the net deficit due to numbers below the average is always equal to net surplus of the numbers above the average. What it is mean to say is 3 is the average, right? Lowest number is 1. The deficit is of 2. Another lower number is 2. The deficit is of 1. So total deficit is 3. 2 plus 1. Now I calculate the surplus. Highest number is 5. The difference is again 2. Then the next number is 4. Difference is 1. Total surplus is 3. So always, whatever be the numbers, the net deficit and the net surplus will always be the same. So these two concepts are very easy to quickly calculate average. I'll just, give you an example. Okay, Sarthak has a question, so I won't attempting 35 questions a bit risky. See, if you are 100% sure that, you'll do them right, if they are correct, then it is not risky. But if you're not sure, then it might be. So what I'm talking about, what I was earlier talking about is, if you have that level of confidence and surety, these are the number of questions that you have to do just to clear it. Mathematically, you just have to do 27, right? But if you are like, maybe correct, maybe wrong, then of course you need to attempt more. The only logic is it is not counted in your merit. It is just a qualifying exam. So a lot of people, what they also do is, for example, I know few of them, they don't even touch English. A lot of people don't even touch English. They crack the CSAT paper only based on aptitude and reasoning, because they feel that their, aptitude part is strong. And over the, I was reading a few reviews and all that people had for 2021 exam. A lot of them said that English was more difficult. The question is, The questions were the options were very confusing. Like if you had something, you were confused between two options to the very end. Yeah, right. So coming back to what we were doing, I'll just we'll just do one quick question on what I'm trying to do here, so that yeah. So very quick question, very easy one, but we'll try to do it from the method, the points that we have mentioned right now. So we have to find the average of five numbers here. The numbers are 0, 5, 7, 13, and 15. Alright. See, the first obvious way is you take the sum of all the numbers. It would be 5 plus 7 plus 13 plus 15 plus 0 and divided by the total numbers, which are 5. Alright. And if you do this, 20, 20, you get 40 upon 5, which is 8. This is an easy question, therefore you were able to do it like so quick. But another way is the net deficit and the net surplus would be same. See, the middle number is 7 in this series, right? So if assuming the 7 would have been the mean, my deficit here with between 0 and 7 is 7. My deficit between 5 and 7 is 2. So net deficit becomes 9. Now my surplus between 7 and 15 is 8, and my surplus from 7 and 13 is 6. So this becomes 14. This is not same. So alright, I think this is not the right question to answer it. Let me just figure out another question to make the point that I'm doing. Yeah, this is a better question to explain that. I'm sorry. So it is saying average of three numbers is 12. If two of these numbers are 13 and 15, find the third number. Now average is 12. So I can assume that all the three numbers were 12. Therefore the average is 12. Now it is saying two of these numbers are 13 and 15. So if this is 13 and this is 15, my surplus here is 3. My surplus here is 1. Total surplus is 4. For 12 to be the average, this number should be 4 less than the average. So which is 12 minus 4 and becomes 8. So this is the point that I was trying to make while telling you guys that we solve a lot of questions of average by net deficit and net surplus concept. Is this thing a little clear, or do you want me to repeat it a little more in some other way maybe? This specific concept that I'm trying to make, the point that I'm trying to make. Repeat.
So it would be great if you repeat it once.
Sure. Just a minute. I'll just do all of it.
The same example also would do.
Yeah, I'll just do it on the same example itself. Okay, did you get the point where I said that the net surplus and the net deficit should be equal? Okay, Sarthak didn't. Okay, let me repeat it from the very start then. See, what I'm saying is, if I say that average of three numbers is 12, I can assume all the three numbers to be 12 itself, right? That would be the average. Is this point okay? Guys, can I please have a response just to know that if we are all in sync? Yeah, perfect. Alright, so my concept says that suppose 12 is the average, right? So right now all numbers are 12, they are equal. So there is no deficit, there is no surplus. Perfect. Now, if one of these numbers would have been 13, so this number is 13. Another number is 15. Right? So we have to figure out what the third number would be, which is x. So initially, like ideally in school, what we used to do was, we assume this number to be x. We used to do x plus 13 plus 15 divided by total numbers would be 12. right? And then we solve this equation for x. This is one of the methods to do it. Since this is a small question and an easier question, this method looks really easy because you have been doing it for a longer period of time. The alternate method that I'm suggesting is we use the concept that if mean is 12, so 13 is greater than 12 by 1. Another number is 15, it is greater than average by 3. So as the total surplus, I mean the total extra magnitude of numbers that I have is 4. Correct? Now the concept says that the total surplus should be equal to the total deficit. So if I have a surplus here, right, my other two numbers are greater, my this number should be less than 12. That is my, that is the first conclusion that I can draw. Then by how much should it be less? It should be less by the amount of surplus that is there. The surplus is of 4. So this number should be less than the average by the surplus amount, which is 8. Is this thing a little more clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, perfect. So see, we'll try. So this is one of the very basic things in which we, solve the questions of average. This is a very simple concept. And if you try to use this, all of your questions will work out like really fast and it'll be really, less calculation and pretty much easy. So one of the things that we'll try to constantly use is this concept. Please do not forget this, right? It's very easy and do this. All right. Second, we go to a concept called as weighted average. Are you guys familiar with the term weighted average? I hope yes. No. All right. No worries. So see, let's just say if all right, suppose you are in a school, all right, when there is a vote, for example there is a vote for class president, so everybody gets one vote and everybody casts one vote and their weightage is equal. I mean there is no differentiation between people, right? That is normal average. Now suppose there has to be a selection of head boy, all right, and let's assume that the students do not take a part in it. It's done by the staff and the teachers and the principal. So principal will hold more authority than maybe teachers, right? So what we say is the principal's weight is more than that of the teachers. The principal's weight would be more than that of the teachers. So that is simply weighted average. I mean, we also fix in the amount of importance that we are giving. So weighted average is nothing but giving importance to certain parameters according to our needs or whatever the things is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's giving importance. Sarthak, is the term clear now? Sarthak, Yashita? Yep, perfect. Alright, so see, usually weighted average questions do not come that much, but sometimes they have appeared. Alright, so we apply a very simple concept. We just say that we have, suppose, alright, this definition is making it a little difficult. I'll give you another example to understand this. Suppose there is a class which has 5 sections. Alright, there are 5 sections in a class. Then the number of students in the 5 sections, say A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 students in this, 10 here, 8 students here, 15 here, and let's say again 5 here. Alright, and there was a common test which was taken, and the average marks of the section are given to us. Well, let's say here it was 6, here it was 8, 10, 10, 6. Alright, now these are all class 12th students, for example. Now I want to know what are the average marks for class 12th. Alright, so these are the kinds of questions which are solved by the concept of weighted average. What I'll do is I'll simply multiply both of these things so that I get to know, alright, the total marks obtained by the students of section A are 36 into 5. Then the total marks obtained by students of section B would be 80 by similar concept. Section C would again be 80, 150 and 30, right? So these are section wise total marks. So what I can say is the total marks obtained by entire class 12th would be addition of all of these, right? And because I have to find the average and I have total marks of class 12th, I need number of students of class 12th. Now number of students would be here 5 plus 10 plus 8 plus 15 plus 5. So this thing is weighted average. What I have done, they have a different number of students, so I have given the importance accordingly. So in the formula also, it is saying that A1, A2, all of these are averages. So which is our average marks? This is A1, A2, A3 and so on. And N1, N2 are elements in that weight. So this would be N1, this would be N2, N3 and so on. Hence my net average formula becomes multiplication of the top two with the addition divided by the total number of people that are there. Is this thing a little more clear? The concept of weighted average. We'll see how we'll solve it later, but is the concept clear? Alright, perfect. I hope, guys, if you do have any doubts, please keep asking. Alright, now there are just 1-2 more concepts that we need to know, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, first concept is the average of consecutive natural numbers up to n is given by n plus 1 by 2. So for what I'm trying to say is, if suppose I have to find the average of first 10 natural numbers, right? So instead of doing 1 plus 2 plus up till plus 10 divided by 10, what I can directly do is 10 plus 1 upon 2, which is 11 upon 2 and 5.5. The necessary point is it should be consecutive natural numbers and start from 1. So it is 1 to n. Alright. The second is, this is a very important thing because a lot of people make mistake here. It is a concept of time, distance and speed as well. So if any person or car or train covers the same distance at two different speeds, then the average speed would be this much. See, the mistake that people make is they directly do x plus y upon 2 for the average speed. It is not the case. Alright, so so the average speed is given by 2xy upon x plus y, where x is the speed of first half of the journey and y is the speed of second half of the journey. The reason it comes like this is simply by the formula speed is equals to distance upon time. So if you try to do it here, let me just show you why it happens. Just give me a minute. I'll just tell you how the formula comes in so that you guys are not confused. But that is a place where a lot of mistakes happen. Alright, let us assume this is my home, right? And this is my office, let's just say. The distance between the two places is d. Alright, now because I really don't want to go to office, I go with a speed x, which is like really slow. Alright, I do not really like going to office. But when I come back, I'm really excited to go back home, and I come with a lot more faster speed. All right. So I'll take a certain time to go to office, and I'll take a certain time to come back from office. So while I go, the formula is speed equal to distance upon time. So while going, my speed is x, distance is d, and I take time t1. While coming back, I come faster, cover the same distance, and take time t2. Now when I have to calculate my average speed, it should be total distance divided by total time, right? Now my total distance is, I went d kilometers, I came back d kilometers. So total distance is d plus d. The total time that I took was t1 plus t2. From here I can say t1 would be d upon x. From here I can say t2 would be d upon y. So when I put all of these things and just solve it, wait, I'll just do it 2d upon, yeah, 2d upon d upon x plus d upon y. I take all of this common, solve it. So what I get is 2xy upon x plus y. So therefore, my average speed when the distance is same, the important point is the distance is same at both the places, comes out to be 2xy upon x plus y, not x plus y upon 2. So these are the just two important things that we need to be sure of while solving the questions if any of this thing comes up. Cool? Any problem still here? Alright, Sarthak is perfect. What about the rest? Perfect, perfect, awesome. Alright, so guys, let's just dive in into a few questions and see how to do it. So, alright, I would request you guys to do this question first in whichever method you know. Alright, and then we'll do it in a method which is a little different. Taking in the concepts that I've just told. So, the question is the average of a batsman after 25 innings was 56 runs per innings. If after the 26th inning his average is increased by 2 runs, then what was the score in the 26th inning? And then we have 4 options for the same. Just give it a shot and I'll be waiting for your answers. Also, it's perfectly fine if you don't do the correct answer. That's not a problem at all. The problem would be not doing and not participating. Alright? The idea that all of us are here together is that we learn together, and then we can hone your skills further. So if as of now you don't do it correctly, it's fine. Just try and do in whichever way you want. If you have any questions, like you do not understand the question or something, you can ask me. That's not a problem. Guys, are you able to move forward in any direction? Yeah, 108 is the correct answer. Can you just tell us the approach that you adopted? Shivangi, are you there? So I did 26 into 58 minus 25 into 56. Alright, yes, that is one of the ways. Okay, so for everybody else, what she did was, see, the question is saying that for 25 innings, the average was 56 runs per inning. After 26th, the average is increased by 2 runs. So the new average would be 58 runs. Now what she did was very simple. She said in 26 innings, the batsman made 58 runs each, and in 25 innings, he made 56 runs each. So the difference between the two is the runs he made in 26th inning, right? Now there is no problem with this solution. It's perfectly fine. But the problem that I have is you first need to multiply this, then you need to multiply this. You will get 4-digit numbers both the sides, and then you will subtract these. Even while the solution is perfectly fine, it just involves a little more calculation. And because of this calculation, there are chances of error, nothing else. So if we try to implement the deficit approach that I was talking about earlier, what will happen is, see, after this innings, I'll just erase this thing. Yeah. So after this innings, the average is increased, right? So if the average is increased, right, the number of runs that he had scored, first he'll have to score 2 runs to contribute to each of 25 innings to increase the average. Again, I'll just repeat this point. The batsman will have to make 2 runs to contribute to each of the 25 old innings, right? So that is 50 runs he made just to contribute to the older innings. Then in the 26th inning, he made it equal to the average so that he attains the new average. So in the 26th inning, he made equal to the new average, which is 58 runs again, right? 58 is the new average. So all in all, he made 50 plus 58, which is 108 runs. See the amount of calculation that I have done by using the same simple concept and the amount of calculation you had to do earlier without doing this. Uh, is everybody a little clear about what I did, or you guys want me to repeat? Alright, I'll just repeat it again. Okay, see the initial average was 56, correct? The new average becomes 58, and this change is because of only one innings or one match, right? So when, okay, the initial average was because of 25 innings. So when he tries to increase the average, right, my, see, the concept that I'm using here first is the same. which we used earlier. See, the question said here that average of three numbers is 12. I said, alright, the numbers are 12, 12 and 12. Right? I'm trying to use the same concept here. He's saying the average of 25 innings was 56. So I'm saying initially he scored 56 runs in all the 25 innings. Now he needs to increase all of this to 58 so that the average comes up to 58. Right? So he needs to put in 2 runs for all the 25 innings. So he has to score 50 runs just to increase the previous average. Is this point clear? I mean, till now. Yeah, perfect. Ratna, is this point clear now? Yeah, perfect. Now what I'm saying is, in the 26th inning as well, he'll have to score the same runs as the average. Now the new average is 58. So in 26th inning, it will be 58 again. So the total runs he scores is the addition of these two, which comes out to be 108. Is the entire solution clear now? Alright, perfect. So see, guys, this is a little different method than what you guys have been adopting till now. And it's perfectly fine. It'll take you some time. Alright, for the initial some questions, it'll be difficult for you to adopt this thing. But it's okay. It's not a problem. Just try from your end that you try and do questions in a simpler way. It'll take some time, but after that time, you'll be doing all the questions like this only. Okay, let me just check another question. We'll try to do it from a similar method. It is saying that average of 40 observations is 50. Average of another 60 observations is 55. What is the average of all the observations? Can you guys tell me what concept will be used here? Concept as in, is it normal average? Is it weighted average? Perfect. Weighted average. Alright. I'm really happy that you guys are not confused in there. That's great. Alright. So do you guys want to give it a try? Like how we'll solve it? Just go ahead and give it a shot. 53, 53. Perfect, perfect, guys. So, what is the method that you guys adopted? Is it 40 multiplied by 50 plus 60 multiplied by 55 divided by 100? Yeah, is this the thing that you guys did? Yeah, perfect, perfect. So, does anybody have confusion in this method? No, perfect, perfect. So see, this method is the textbook method that is recommended. It's perfectly fine if you guys use it. Do you guys also want to see how can we do it from the method I did in previous question, or are you fine with this much? I'm okay either ways. Okay, Ratna, yeah.
previous method, if you do, it would be great.
It would be great. All right. So, okay. See, it will take you some time to adopt to it, and it's fine. All right. Just don't be scared of it. Okay. So I'm saying that for 40 observations, average is 50. All right. For 40 observations, average is 50. Another 60 observations, average is 55. Now listen carefully what I'm trying to say. See, 40 observations here and 60 here. So out of this 60, see, my what I'm trying to do is I'll try to find the surplus amount. All right, that is my objective. So out of this 60, the 40 observations I'll say had 50 only. I'll just assume. So that these two things are equal. So when I add this 40 and this 40, I can say that 80 observations have average 50 only. Yeah. Then I am left with 20 observations with 55, and I am left with 40 observations with 5. The surplus amount. This is my surplus. Is everybody okay? Or do you want me to repeat this thing? All right, I'll repeat. See, so assume it this way. There are two buckets. All right. This has 40 observations with 50 average. This has 60 observations with 55 average, and we are going to mix both of them in a bigger bucket. What I'm doing, I'll pour entire of this thing, so 40 observations with 50, and I will select the equal same amount of from this. So I again take up 40 observations with 50 average. So when I pour both of these, it becomes 80 observations with 50 average. Nothing gets changed because every number is 50. Are you guys with me till now? Yep. Okay. All right. So now whatever is left in this bucket is the extra amount, and this extra amount will increase my average. All right. So I'll just see what I'm left with. So out of 60, I have already given out 40. So I'm left with 20 with 55 each, and the initial 40 that I gave, I just gave 50. So I am left with 5 of those. Correct? So my total surplus becomes, this is 200, and this becomes 1100. Yeah. All right. So just a second. Is there? I think I've made some mistake. 5510, 45 200, 13. Just a second. Huh? 50, 55, 20, 55. So total surplus. No. Guys, just a minute. I'll just come back to this question. I think I've made some small mistake in explaining it to you guys. Till then, just try another question. I'll just be back to that one. Yep, this is the another question for you guys. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Alright, Shivangi took it. 12 into 8 minus 13 plus 10. Alright, perfect. So, Shivangi, what you did was from the traditional method, which is also fine, right? And RNS. Dude, what's your name? I'm sorry, I'm just curious. Rohit, alright. And Rohit did it from the method that I am trying to teach you guys. So see, if again, I'll just do this from the newer method that I want you guys. So it is saying that 12 observations average is 8. Now 10 is wrongly written as 13, right? So because of this, what is the extra numbers that we have? We have 13 minus 10, 3. So 3 is the extra thing which has increased the average, and the average needs to go down, correct? So now 3 should be taken out equally from a total of 12 numbers because there are 12 observations. So each observation should be reduced by 1 by 4. This minus sign means reduced, right? Because we are reducing 3 overall. So if each number is 8 and I reduce 1 by 4, it comes out to be 7.75. Are you guys a little clear what Rohit did and how he approached this question? Does it seem a little easier now? Got it. Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. So, alright, I have one more question in stock for you guys right now. Now we'll try this one. So it is saying that out of three numbers, first is twice of second, second is twice of third. If the average of all three numbers is 77, find the third number. 'Do we have the answer yet? Thirty-three. Perfect, Sarthak. What was the method that you adopted? Ah, perfect. I got it. Perfect, perfect. Yep. So this is the easiest method to do this question. See, not every question will be solved by the method we are trying to do, right? So, did others get 33 as well, or do you guys want me to tell you how to do it? even with the traditional method. Done with the traditional one. All right, perfect. Perfect. So we'll stick. So for this specific question, traditional method is the best. Just assume the third number to be x, the second number becomes 2x, the first number becomes 4x, and the average is 77 into 3. So it's directly 77 into 3, x becomes 11 into 3, which is 33, right? Okay, so now what we'll do is, so guys, I'll just give you, an idea of the sheet. So this is the sheet that I was, wait, let me just show my screen to you. Just a minute. Yeah. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see the screen? Yeah. Sarthak, it can be done by the average method, but it will take you longer. I mean, the average method for this specific question is not that great. So, see, our idea is to do the question is the easiest and simplest possible way. Alright, we'll try not to stick to some specific method. That one question that I've left, I'll come back to it by the another method. There's some small mistake that I'm making. I'll figure that out and let you guys know. Till then, so this is the sheet that I'm talking about, and I'll post this sheet in the Telegram group. So we have done the few initial 5-6 questions. Alright, for every question there are options, and the one in bold right here is the answer. So you guys can do and cross check. So for average, we have 2 sheets. This is one. I'll send the other one as well. So I'll give you guys 2 sheets for this, and then I would request, I have a request from all of you to complete those sheets in the time that we have. From tomorrow, we will be shifting the class to afternoon 12. Is that okay? Is that preferable to everybody? I mean, I'm told that Sumit and I have a clash of timings right now for the class. Therefore, I'm planning not to schedule it at night. Is 12 at noon fine? Otherwise, anyways, we'll also upload the recordings of this on YouTube, and I'll give you the access. I'll post the link of that as well on the group. And I would request all of you to drop in. So that's all right. See, if that clash happens, we will manage. It's between Sumit and I, and we both won't schedule the class at same time. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I would request all of you to drop me your email IDs in the Telegram group itself, and I will add you guys to the YouTube viewing as well, because I'll do it private, and I'll also add you guys permanently to the Google link, so that we don't have to play accept every day. Yeah, so please just put in your email IDs in the Telegram group. Within next 5 odd minutes, I'll be sending the average. No, Sarthak. There is a separate Telegram group of, the CSAT thing. Sumit will forward it to you probably for that. I'll ask him to do that for you. Right? Alright, guys. Is there any question that we have from today's class? No? Alright. See, guys, even I am open to suggestions if you guys want me to change some. The CSAT batch 1 group. Yes. Alright. What I was saying is, even I am open to suggestions if you guys want me to change some teaching methodology or something. Where would you send the sheet? Dude, I'll send it in the CSAT batch 1 Telegram group. If you're not in the group, I'll ask Sumit to do it for you. Okay, perfect. So, alright, everybody, if you ever feel that, something needs to be done in a certain different way, please let me know. And if there's any another way in which I could explain it, do it, or reschedule the way we do things, I'll be open to that. Right? But see, the the most important part in quants and reasoning, if I have to say, is practice. See, it could be the age old boring saying, but that is true. So today, you have learned a few things, some new concepts, maybe one or two. Try to implement it wherever you can. Otherwise, solve all the questions that are there. I'll be sending you roughly two sheets. They'll have roughly around 30 odd questions. So 30 questions should not be that big a deal. But please remember, these sheets are not exhaustive. How to experiment preferable in a question or not. See, Yashita, this thing you will get once you do certain number of questions. For initial time, just sense if that is a method that can be applied or not. For example, the question that we did last, where one number was falsely written as 13 instead of 10. Right? So we know that something is going to come out and be distributed accordingly. The first question that we did of the innings one, the batsman in the innings, even there we knew that, if he scores, he has to pull up everything. So wherever there is not weighted average, that question can be, usually done with the surplus deficit method. Again, I'm saying usually. You'll be a better judge of it once you do certain amount of questions and you get a hold of it. Right? See, this method, if you get a hold of it, is definitely quicker, faster, better, less calculation and all of that. But, even after practice, if you do not get a hold of it, that's alright. Alright? Then stick to the previous method, because see, the goal is to do the questions right. If there had been, a challenge in the amount of time we have, like CAT, SSC, all the other exams, there we need to do a lot of questions. We get like 30 seconds, 50 seconds for every question. That is not the case with CSAT. If you follow the strategy which I am saying, right? So the main primary thing is accuracy over here. In all the other exams, I say that the primary thing is number of attempts, but that is not true for CSAT. So accordingly, we'll be doing a lot of these things. And if you have any other source material as well, please refer to it. Do we get, so see, it depends chapter to chapter, Indumati. So the sheet that I had shown you today had some formulas and the concepts that we discussed in class. So some of my sheets, sorry Sarthak, I didn't get you. Up previous year questions karao kya? Yeah, we'll do we'll do previous year questions, but we'll do it a little later. First, we'll try to cover a lot of things, and then I hope we'll do previous year questions together, where you guys would be actually solving it. That is something that I really want. And all the things that wherever you get stuck today, we'll discuss it tomorrow before starting the new chapter. So even if you try previous year questions, even if you try questions outside the sheet, please bring them in. Alright. If you try questions from outside the sheet, I would request you that you send them early, so that it saves the overall amount of time of the class, and I will put it in the sheet itself, the presentation that I've made. Alright. So just send it a little early so that I can put it in the presentation and solve it right there, instead of you telling me, then I'm noting it and all of that. Perfect. Awesome. So maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or sorry, Yashita. So in the initial phase it and trial method for concept we have to do to clear the current, we will solve my face a lot. All right, Yashita. See, I get that. So see, the correct method kind of a thing. Again, the only way to do it or to get a grasp of it is after you have done certain questions. This might be a little annoying, but the answer to most of the questions that are asked here is practice. Right? So see, today is day one of our classes. We'll just try and stick. A lot of things will be better once you are in touch of it, to be very frank. So once you do this, see, 30 questions every day, for 30 days you will be hitting like 900,000 questions. Simple math. So 1,000 questions are very good to get you back into practice. And once you get a hang of it, you will really understand which way to go. Alright, so even if some questions you might not do that fast, but it's alright. That's fine. Again, the primary focus is accuracy. for all of you guys. Right? All the cool things, stuff, tricks. See, a lot of tricks you might not even remember in the exam, to be very frank. Therefore, the focus would not be a lot on the tricks. It would either be on the traditional method or on little things that you could do. For example, this average, the surplus deficit thing is a substitute way to solve it. It's not a trick. Like trick would be ki I would have told you some formula like do this and done. So I'm not a very big supporter of tricks because you tend to forget it in the exam until unless it's really important. We will rely on some tricks somewhere it's necessary, but not everywhere. I hope that's fine. And I'm sorry, I just asked one of you from where you were. Just for the sake of this thing, I would request that we just put in quick messages in the Telegram group just of where we are and all of that. I mean, just keeps up the interest, nothing else. Yeah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And whatever questions you have, please be sure to ask, and it'll be perfectly fine. Yeah. All right. It was nice getting connected with all of you. Bye bye. Good night, guys.
Good night, sir.